Okay, we are here. Hate to say this, but it's the final band of the day. I could listen to these bands all day, but we're at the final. They come to us from Kissimmee, Florida. The Osceola County School for the Arts, Jazz A, under the direction of Jason Anderson. Please give them a big welcome. Osceola County School for the Arts.
One, two, one, two, a 1, 2, 3. Brown on the trombone, Xavier Link Anderson on the trumpet, Luis Fernandez Guzman on clarinet, and Rafael Alvarez Gonzalez on trumpet. Thank you so much. We are honored to be playing here in Rose Hall again on round 2 of the 30th year of Essentially Ellington. This festival is always wonderful, but this year is, I have no words. It's so amazing. We'd like to thank our parents, our teachers, admin, superintendent, school board, everybody that's helped us get here. Special thank you to our bookkeeper and jazz mom, German Rouse, for pretty much coordinating 90%. Yes, give it up for her. Of course, as always, most important thank you to my wife, Monica. Thank you for everything. We're going to continue. Yeah, you can clap for her. We're going to continue with another Duke Ellington composition. You will hear from Juan Alvarado on piano, Abner Gonzalez on bass, Kiara Rouse on tenor sax, and Xavier Anderson on flugelhorn. This is Aristocracy by Lejean Lafitte. Kiara Rouse on tenor sax. Juan Alvarado on piano. And Abner Gonzalez on the bass. Thank you so much again. Before we continue with our last tune, we'd like to thank Winton, Todd, Megan, Oliver, Billy, all of our esteemed judges, everyone here at Jazz at Lincoln Center, and the donors. I just want to say, I know that you guys love to see all of the camaraderie in the bands during the course of this Ellington, but I think it's important for you guys to know that it doesn't stop here. This is something I see my kids all throughout the year. They're texting all of their friends in different bands and asking for musical advice and help and just being friends. So thank you to everyone at Jazz at Lincoln Center for creating a great community. All right. We're going to continue with our finish it out, close it out, the whole festival here with the last tune. This will feature a lot of soloists. We have Juan Alvarado on piano, Abner Gonzalez on bass, Diego Aviles Martinez on drums, Kiara Rouse on tenor sax, Paulo Zulueta Lamano on alto saxophone. Who did I forget? Xavier Anderson on trumpet. I think I got them all. That was without notes. Okay, here we go. Things to come. One, two, three.
with Jason Anderson, director of the Osceola County School for the Arts from Kissimmee, Florida. You ended with things to come.
Yes, we ended. Got to end with the banger, right?
Many people start with that one. I mean,
Nobody told me that.
so let's talk a little bit. You've been here a few times before. You played yesterday, and now, I mean, it was a random drawing. You were the last band to play today. Just sum up this whole experience for you.
Oh, it's been fantastic. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we already knew it was going to be amazing with the 30 bands, but then just seeing so many more, and then the bands from, different countries was so cool. All of my kids were so excited. As soon as they found out a band from Japan was coming, they started learning Japanese, and you know what I mean? They were so excited about it. So it's just been fantastic, just across the board. Clinics, everything, just amazing.
Great. Talk a little bit about your programming. You have a classic Ellington tune from the 40s. In the first round, you played Chinoiserie, which is, a later Ellington work. You play the Waltz, which almost no one played this year. The Aristocracy of Jean Lafitte. Talk about how you choose those, selections.
Well, the tough one for me is always the new tunes every year, because we're less familiar with those usually. And we started off with What Am I Here For? And then it wasn't quite landing. And then when I really listened to Aristocracy, it's so soulful. You know what I mean? It's such a soulful tune in just its own classy way, And then Harlem Air Shaft, I've been wanting to do that for years, but it's such a hard tune.
Yeah.
It's such a hard tune. But I feel like they really connected with that tune this year, and it's so classic Ellington, and so.
How do you develop these students that come up with your program? Are you a 6 through 12 school? I mean, you keep coming up with more and more players. People want to know what's in the water down there in Kissimmee, Florida.
Well, we're a 6 through 12 school, but my band started at 7. So I really am a middle school jazz teacher and high school. I have 4 bands total. And so we just, the one thing that's cool is that it's all in one tiny little room, all the bands. And so all of the middle schoolers get to hang out with the high schoolers. So it's just kind of, it's like built-in mentorship, yeah. Because they don't get to take private lessons or anything. So they look up to the high schoolers, and that's what they do.
That's amazing. Let's get a couple of your students in here. Come on in. Gentlemen of the orchestra, give us your name and what year you are in school.
My name is Paolo Zulueta Lamano. I'm a senior in high school.
And you?
My name is Xavier Anderson. I'm a sophomore in high school.
Did you say sophomore in high school? Yeah. We're going to have to check your ID, son. So let's start with your elder. How do you feel about that performance you just had? You played the alto solo on Things to Come, right? You had a little tempo there. It's going by very fast. How do you prepare for something like that?
I think for me, the biggest thing is breaking up the time into bigger and bigger chunks and feeling the time less and less frequently. So with a tempo that's faster, I tend to feel the beat maybe every measure, every 2 measures, and that really helps me to slow down.
Who are your inspirations? Who do you listen to for playing at a tempo like that?
I think some of my biggest inspirations, especially for that, would be Antonio Hart, Killer Solo. I think definitely, I've listened back to Sherman Irby, listened to Patrick Bartley. I've gone through and listened to as many people as I can to see all the different interpretations, all the articulation, stuff like that.
And Xavier, you played a lot. And you played a little bit of lead trumpet, you played some solos, you played from flugelhorn. I was actually thinking about you switching from flugelhorn back to your B-flat trumpet, and then also playing some lead. What's that, what do you do for that transition? Is it just you just praying and saying?
A little bit, definitely. I mainly just tried to practice switching as much as I could, and I took 2 days off the trumpet and just practiced my flugelhorn for a while to get comfortable on my instrument, because I had a lot of trouble originally when I picked up the flugel, and I practiced Amazing Grace on it as many times as I could to try to really develop my soul and character into my instrument.
That's great. And so you're graduating. What are your plans for next year?
After I graduate, I plan to attend the Frost School of Music at the University of Miami, and I'll be majoring in jazz performance with a minor in business.
Awesome. And Xavier, what are your plans for next year?
Going
you get your driver's license?
Yeah, I do need to get my permit, actually.
Dad, get him a car. He played good today.
Yes, please.
Well, again, congratulations, Osceola County School for the Arts. Amazing job today. You closed out the program. Folks,